Hi folks, Donnie D here. Excuse me. As you can see, I finished sanding the stock on my wife's Mossberg Model 46B 22 rifle, bolt action rifle. One of the guys on one of the forums I go to suggested that I go over it after the sandpaper with some 4/0 steel wool. I sanded it, started with 120 and went down to 400. Didn't take long because it was in pretty good shape anyway. I've got some steel wool. I'm not sure what grade it is, so I went over it with that after I finished with the 400. But I am going to buy some tomorrow, pick up some 4/0 steel wool, and what I'm going to use that for is going over the stock between coats of the Tru Oil. I'm gonna use that 4/0 for that. But anyway, what I want to do tonight is get started putting on the first coat of the Tru Oil. And here's the Tru Oil for those of you that aren't familiar with. I think most of you probably are. It's just a real simple finish that you can apply. You can stain under it or just put it on the wood unstained. This is obviously walnut. Looks like it's got some pretty nifty looking grain. I'm just going to put it right straight over the sanded wood with no additional stain. But before I start, I did want to give you a couple of tips that I've picked up either recently or over the years from my other folks or either my own experience. And one thing is when you get your Tru Oil and start to use it, when you open it up, open the bottle up, don't take this foil cover off of it. Just punch a little small hole in there, just enough to squirt some of the finish out into a little bowl or whatever you're going to put it in. Excuse me, because that helps to keep air out of the what you have left over after you finish your job. Make your bottle of Tru Oil last longer. And also, when you store it, when you're done with your project, put the cap back on it really tight and store it upside down. I can't turn it upside down obviously now because I've got it open. But store it upside down. What that does is that causes the finish to go to the neck of the bottle, and that also helps to keep air from seeping in around the cap. And what I do is it takes very little of it. So this is the top to a little small Tupperware container. It's actually got a little small reservoir in it. I'm going to pour a little bit or squirt a little bit of Tru Oil in here. And I prefer to apply it, the directions on the Tru Oil says to use either a rag or cloth or apply it with your fingers. I prefer to apply it with my finger. Not that I'm an expert by any means, but that's just the way I like to do it. And because I can feel as I'm putting it on, I can feel if I've got too much or not enough, and I can redistribute the oil. You know, if I got too much, I can just redistribute it to a dry spot, or if I don't have enough, I can just add a little bit. And I don't know, I just like to do it better that way. Now what I'm getting ready to do is start applying this first coat. I'm not going to show the whole process because it'll take too long, make the video too long. But I am going to get started, and this is sort of my favorite part of any type of woodworking project, that I'm going to put any type of an oil or poly finish onto really nice wood. Now, this is nice stuff. This is some walnut, because I just love it when you first see that grain pop out. It just explodes right into your face. I mean, it's just beautiful. This may not be as pretty as I think it's going to be. I don't know, but we're going to start putting it on there, and we're going to see that grain pop. So first thing I'm going to do is just take my Tru Oil here and just squirt a little bit. And it don't take much. Just a little bit in that cap. If I need some more, I can always add it. If I got too much, then I've wasted it. So I just put a little bit in there. And all I'm going to do is just dip my finger down in there and get some on there and start spreading it on this stock. And let's just see how this stuff looks here. And I don't know, it's just easy to do. It's just such an easy finish. I had never used it before. I used it on my old shotgun project the other day, and man, it's just so easy to use. I just spread it on there, and what I try to do is keep the coats as thin as possible, because put it on there too thick, just like any other finish, it's going to run on you. So, and I'm going to inevitably have some runs, but yeah, this stuff is going to look really pretty. This stock is really going to look nice. Man, that's pretty. Let me get this camera off here. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. How pretty that grain is going to start showing up. I love walnut, and I love it when I first put the finish on it, because it just makes that grain just pop. But that's going to be pretty, folks. I'm going to stop the video here in a second, because it'll take too long to try to show you the whole process. It's going to take me a while to get it on this entire stock. But what I'm doing, I'm applying my first coat. I'm going to try to make sure I don't have it on too thick, so I don't have any runs. Or hopefully I won't have any, or at least I won't have too many. I suspect I'm going to have a run or two, but I'm going to try to keep it thin as I can. It's going to dry out, look pretty dull after the first finish. Then I'm going to take that fellow's suggestion on the forums, and I'm going to go over it after each coat, polish it down with that 400 grit, 4-aught grit steel wool, and then I'll apply my next coat. Now, the next time you see this stock, it's probably going to be after I've put all the coats on it that I'm going to put. And the next time you see it, it's probably going to be on the finished gun. But anyway, my next video, this is video 4. My next video is probably going to be covering, I've got a few metal smalls, screws and sling mounts and stuff like that I need to re-blue. So my next video will be on the re-bluing of those smalls, and then we'll go from there. But anyway, this is Donnie D on my wife's Mossberg Model 46B, part 4, putting the first coat of Tru Oil on the stock. But I think it's going to be right. Whoops, excuse me. Sorry about that. I think it's going to come out right good and pretty. But anyway, this is Donnie D, and I'll see you next time. Bye.